What's going on, everybody? Top 10 Pokemon here. Today I would like to do a tier list of the investability of all the modern Pokemon card sets. Now this will consist of XY sets all the way through Sun and Moon, or all the way through right now, Vivid Voltage, Sword and Shield era. This come from a commenter from my previous video that thought that it would be a good idea to make a tier list. So I thought it was a good idea as well, so thank you for that. Before I get started, please like and subscribe to show your support. Really appreciate everyone who watches these videos. So let's start off by getting on here, tiermaker.com, and we have beneath us here all of the modern sets from XY through Sword and Shield. So S tier is going to be like a super investable tier, God tier, where it's a no-brainer. These are the most popular cards, the most expensive cards, and it's just a no-brainer that you want to invest in these sets. A tier is going to be just a little bit less. It's definitely super investable, but not God tier, not like the S tier where it's just you have to invest, but still very good sets. B tier is going to be like they're solid sets. It's going to be kind of up to the person investing and where they think they're going to go, but definitely solid sets nonetheless. C tier is going to be like you got a couple of decent cards. The booster boxes might be somewhat valuable, but for the most part it's just not going to be very investable. And D tier is going to be like Steam Siege, where years and years are going to go by and no one's going to want to collect these sets. So let's get started right now. We have our Champion's Path, one of the newest holiday set from Sword and Shield. And we're going to put Champion's Path right in the A tier because although the set itself isn't very good, you got 3 beautiful Charizards in there. You got the promo Charizard V, the shiny Charizard V, and then you got the rainbow rare Charizard V Max all within this set. And the PSA 10 graded cards of those are very expensive. And the product is getting swept off the shelf as well. So definitely an A tier set right there in Champion's Path. Up next you got Dragon's Majesty. We're going to put that in the B tier list. There's a couple of decent cards in that set. I know the product is getting more expensive. I know you got like Dragonite and Reshiram in there, so that's definitely a higher B tier set if you ask me. Hidden Fates, S tier all day long. I just did a recent video about Hidden Fates and the investability and the reprint, and the spoiler alert, it is super investable. The cards, the product, everything about Hidden Fates, the popularity makes this an S tier set all day long. Alright, we got Sun and Moon, Lost Thunder. That's going into the C tier because there's just not a lot going on with it. It's a very forgettable set. There's a couple of good cards, like you got the Rainbow Rare Lugia in there, but for the most part, there's nothing really going on with this. Nobody's really talking about Lost Thunder. Shining Legends, S tier all day. This is one of the few sets where Charizard is not in the set, yet it is just outperforming most sets. You know, the product, the Elite Trainer boxes are well over $100 a piece now. You got the Shining cards, Shining Mew, Rayquaza, all hundreds of dollars as PSA 10s. You got the Mewtwo GX that's really expensive. You got the Rainbow Rare card. So there's just a lot going on with this set, and my hat's off to it because it doesn't even have Charizard in it. How can a set be successful without Charizard? Well, you're looking at it. Shining Legends did it, and that's why it is in the S tier category. Alright, Sun and Moon Unified Minds. We're going to put that in the B tier right now. It's got a lot of good Mewtwo cards, Mewtwo tag team cards, and I think it's underrated right now, so we're going to put that in the B tier list. Cosmic Eclipse, we're going to put that right in front of Unified Minds. I think this is also another very underrated set. You get the Charizard Breaks and GX cards, lots of good cards here. Booster box is still very inexpensive. I think it's definitely worth a pickup, so we're going to put that in the upper B tier list. Sun and Moon Guardians Rising, that's going to go in the C tier list. You know, I opened up several booster boxes of this, and the chase card back then was the Tapu Lele GX. That was like, oh, yeah, you get that no matter if it was a regular GX, Rainbow Rare, Full Art. That was like the card to get. Now it's pretty forgotten. You don't really hear much about Guardians Rising anymore. But still a couple of interesting cards in that set that could possibly be investable in the long run. Sun and Moon Burning Shadows. We're going to put that in the upper B tier list. This is one of those sets where it's like it has the one awesome card. The Charizard Rainbow Rare GX. And not much else going on in that set as far as it being investable. You know, you get the Guzma trainer, the Guzma full art. That was very valuable, but I'm not sure how it is nowadays. But yeah, unless you get the Charizard GX from this set, you're kind of losing money. The booster boxes are still in the low $200, so we're going to keep that in the B tier list. Crimson Invasion, D. That is the worst set in Sun and Moon. It's just nothing chase-worthy at all. I actually have to buy a booster box of this to complete my Sun and Moon booster box collection, and I don't want to. I keep putting it off. Like, people are trying to get rid of this set in these boxes, and here I am looking to pick one up. I just have to bite the bullet and buy one. Just one. That's it. Alright, Sun and Moon Ultra Prism. We're going to put this in the middle of the C tier list. I think this would have been more investable if they didn't reprint it. So now it's much more available. Booster boxes are very inexpensive. I think you can still get one for around $150. Yeah, the Prism cards just really aren't worth that much. And I remember the chase card back in this set was the full art Cynthia. That was really expensive, and I don't think it's really increased much since then, so we're going to keep that in the C tier list. Forbidden Light, that's definitely going to be the bottom of the C tier. There's just nothing going on with that set. It's forgettable. You have like your Xerneas and Zygarde, I believe, like that lineup in this, but not really much going on. I think the Greninja GX is in this, so that was cool, but yeah, we're going to keep that in the bottom of the C tier. Celestial Storm. I'm actually going to put this in the bottom of the B tier because you had a couple really good cards in there. The Rayquaza full art Rainbow Rare was really, really good for this set. And the booster boxes are still pretty pricey, close to $200 for this. So I think this is a fairly investable set. Sun and Moon Team Up. We're going to put this right behind Cosmic Eclipse. You had the Pikachu Zekrom GX tag team. You had the Eevee Snorlax tag team GX. These booster boxes are actually pretty expensive. I think it's like the $200 range, which is pretty nuts because this is a relatively newer set. So Sun and Moon Team Up, that's going to stay in like the middle tier area. Sword and Shield base set. The base sets for these cards, like Sun and Moon base, XY base, Sword and Shield, not a whole lot going on for them. I think we're going to put this in the C tier. There's just, I mean, you got the end cards there, the Zacian and Zamazenta cards, or whatever those Pokemon are called. Those are pretty good, but other than that, there's not much going on for Sword and Shield base. Rebel Clash, D. The worst set of Sword and Shield so far. I open up a booster box of this and I'm pulling these cards out. I'm just like, ugh. There is nothing in this set. Alright, Sword and Shield Vivid Voltage. That's going in the D. No, I'm just kidding. People got very upset when I was talking about the investability of the Vivid Voltage set. It's not the worst set to invest in. Absolutely not. We're going to put this in the B tier. We're going to put this right behind Cosmic Eclipse. The Pikachu VMAX is probably going to be your most investable card. I think that's going to be about it. Without Pikachu and the investability of Pikachu, this set really wouldn't be that valuable. Well, time will tell with the reprints of this set. We'll see exactly how scarce this set becomes, and it might move up or might move down in the investability of this chart. I don't know. XY Fates Collide. I love me some Alakazam, but that's about it in this set. We're going to put this in the upper C tier list. There's just not a whole lot going on. You have the Glaceon GX or EX card that was very, very awesome. You got some Alakazam cards that are investable, but the sealed product itself isn't going for that much. XY Steam Siege, D tier. Enough said. XY base set. Like I said, these base sets just aren't. They're just very lackluster. There's not a lot going on with them. We're going to put this right behind Sword and Shield. I know you got the Blastoise and Venusaur EX cards, as full art cards. And back in the day, those were like going for, that's like a year ago, they're going for like $10 a piece. And they may have increased in value since then, but there's nothing really going on other than those cards. XY Flash Fire. We're going to put this in the A tier list. I would put this in the S tier, but it's kind of already gotten carried away. The booster boxes are close to $2,000 now, and all those Charizards graded PSA 10 are very expensive, hundreds to thousands of dollars. So if you can get your hands on one, I think it's a good set to hold on to for sure. but it's just getting very expensive nowadays. But that's definitely an A tier set for sure. XY Furious Fists. The cards in this set really aren't that great, but the booster boxes are getting pretty expensive. So we're gonna put this in the middle of the B tier list. So yeah, I think it's more of a scarcity with the booster boxes with Furious Fists rather than the cards, but still, someone out there really likes Furious Fists. XY Phantom Forces. I think this is a top B set or B list for sure. We'll put it right behind Burning Shadows. You got Gengar highlighting the set. You got the silver Dialga EX card. It's like a secret rare, very expensive. The booster boxes are several hundreds of dollars. Definitely a forgotten but lovable set. XY Primal Clash. We're going to put that towards the bottom of the B list. You got the Primal Kyogre, the Primal Groudon. You've got a Rayquaza in the sets. There's actually a ton of cards in this set. The booster boxes are still not that expensive. I think you can get them for just a couple $100. But yeah, I think it's definitely a B quality tier for sure. Roaring Skies. This used to be like the S tier. I think when it came out, everybody thought it was going to be such a super limited print run, and then all of a sudden they printed out a ton more. So we're going to put this in the upper C list. There's some decent cards in there. You got a couple Rayquaza cards in there. Shaman EX used to be like the chase card, but not so much anymore. So we're gonna keep that in the C list. Ancient Origins. I really like this set. We're gonna put this set in the upper. We're gonna put this in the bottom of the B list, or the bottom of the B tier list. You got a Lugia in that set. You got a lot of awesome full art cards. The booster boxes are pretty pricey. I think this is definitely an underrated set for sure. We're going to keep that in the bottom of the B tier list. XY Breakthrough. I think this is another very underrated set. You got tons of awesome full art Mewtwo cards. We're going to put this in the middle of the B tier list. I think it's definitely investable. The booster boxes are still relatively inexpensive, and you got a lot of awesome EX cards in that set. XY Breakpoint, we're gonna put that in the bottom of the B list. You got some interesting cards. You got Gyarados EX card in there, a bunch of other ones. Booster boxes are still rather inexpensive, so it might be a good time to pick one up. I don't know. What do you think? We got up next Evolutions. XY Evolutions, that's going right up to the S tier because that is one of the most popular modern sets of all time. The booster boxes and packs have really started to increase. The Charizard Holo PSA 10 is super valuable, thousands of dollars for that. So I think that is definitely an S tier set for sure. Definitely not in front of Hidden Fates or Shining Legends, I think, but it's still definitely a must-have set. XY Generations. This is another forgotten set. I love a lot of the cards that come in these sets, a lot of EX cards, but there's just not a lot of chase-worthy, hard-to-pull cards, I don't think. So we're going to put this kind of in the middle of the B tier list for Generations. This was a holiday set way back when. Sun and Moon base sets, we're going to put that along with the other base sets, just not a whole lot. A couple interesting Rainbow Rare cards, but the booster boxes are pretty cheap for being almost 4 years old now, maybe even older than 4 years. And just the booster boxes still are very inexpensive, and I don't foresee them going up in value anytime soon. You got Sword and Shield, Darkness Ablaze. We're going to put that right behind, I'm going to put that right behind Burning Shadows because it's very similar to Burning Shadows in that you got one card in that set that's chase-worthy, and that is the Charizard VMAX. So that's going to go in the upper B list. You got Unbroken Bonds. Sun and Moon Unbroken Bonds. That's going right in the A tier list. Right behind Flashfire. You got the Reshiram Charizard GX. You got a Blastoise GX card. You got lots of cool cards in this. A lot of this set got a lot of people back into collecting. So I think it's definitely A tier worthy. So there you have it. There's our list right there. Let's go over it. We got the S tier. You got Hidden Fates, Shining Legends, and Evolutions. Those are our top 3 modern sets to invest in. And I don't think anybody can argue that. Those are the most popular sets, the most valuable. S tier all day, baby. Beneath that, you got the A tier, which is very investable, but not quite to the level of Hidden Fates, Evolutions, Shining Legends. You have Champion's Path, XY Flashfire, and Unbroken Bonds in our A tier. B tier, you got Burning Shadows, Darkness Ablaze, Phantom Forces, Dragon Majesty, Cosmic Eclipse, Vivid Voltage, Breakthrough, XY Furious Fist, Team Up, Primal Clash, Unified Minds, Generations, Ancient Origins, Celestial Storm, and Breakpoint. Those are solid sets. They definitely have some solid cards in them, and I don't think it would hurt to pick up some booster boxes of those, but they're definitely not super duper investable like our S and A tier sets. From the C tier, you got Roaring Skies, Hidden Fates, Guardians Rising, Ultra Prism, Lost Thunder, Forbidden Light, Sword and Shield base, XY base, and Sun and Moon base. Those are all just, I won't be putting any money into these sets. I recommend that you don't either. If you want to pick up a booster box or something, that's definitely not a bad idea, but as far as pouring tons of money into these sets, I would avoid that. And your D tier list, you have Crimson Invasion, the worst set of Sun and Moon, Rebel Clash, the worst set so far of Sword and Shield, and Steam Siege, the worst set of XY and possibly of all time. All right, let me know what you thought of the tier list. Do you like tier lists? Do you like to see more of things like this? Let me know in the comments. Once again, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.